So Solo: A Star Wars Story just hit theaters last night, and of course I really want to go over my spoiler review of the movie and really just explain that ending that actually happened, and if they're seeding more Han Solo movies down the road. I'm going to be talking about this in today's video. How's it going, Webheads? My name is Ryan Walsh, and if you guys like Star Wars and you guys want more videos on all that stuff, definitely consider subscribing to Webhead and turning on that bell notification so you guys don't miss a thing. So I saw Solo: A Star Wars Story last Tuesday. Actually, I saw it a little while ago, but I didn't want to put my spoiler review up until everyone else got a chance to see the movie. So now that Thursday is past and it's now Friday, I'm thinking it's a good time to put up a spoiler review and actually explain the ending of the movie. So really, I just want to touch on a couple things about the movie, some positives and negatives. Overall, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I was going into it not really expecting much from this movie. I was thinking it was actually going to be pretty bad, honestly. I didn't think this was going to be good at all. If anything, I thought it was going to be okay. But I walked out of the movie pretty happy with this movie. I thought it was actually a lot of fun. I liked Alden Eckhart, if that's actually his name. I forget if that's actually his name, but I liked him as the new Han Solo. I thought he was actually really good, and I loved Lando in this movie. He was awesome. Those two definitely were my standouts, along with Chewbacca. Those three, I feel like they really nailed. And obviously, like at the beginning of the movie, I thought it was a little slow. I didn't know how it was going to be so far. But once I got into that chase scene, I thought the movie really started to pick up, and I thought it really started getting interesting. And that was right off the bat, actually. I was not really feeling this new guy as Han Solo. It was like Harrison Ford's better, Harrison Ford's better. Obviously, I mean, I feel like a lot of Star Wars fans are going to feel like that, and that's fine. But at the same time, you got to give this guy some credit, because over time throughout the movie, I was like, holy crap, he is Han Solo. He's really good. I thought he really did a great job of really putting on screen Han Solo as a younger version. And obviously he's not going to beat Harrison Ford. He never was. He was kind of set up to fail in that situation. But in my opinion, I thought he did a very good job portraying him. I was very happy with what I saw. So in all honesty, I thought he was probably one of the best parts of the movie. And then of course, really looking at Lando in the movie, I thought Lando was awesome. I loved him throughout the entire movie, and I did like the part that he played. Now really going on about everybody else, thought everybody else was okay. I didn't think anybody else really stood out in the movie, except for probably Chewbacca. I thought he was pretty good. Paul Bettany's villain, I don't even remember the guy's name, so that kind of tells you exactly what I thought of him. I didn't really care about him. I didn't think he was that great. And then the entire ending and everything I thought was pretty predictable. So that's kind of my negatives, kind of mixing it around here. So like my positives were definitely Han Solo himself, Chewie, and Lando, and I liked all of that. But then my negatives definitely were that the ending was pretty predictable. Obviously, going into this movie, we all know that Han Solo and Chewbacca and Lando are all going to survive, so it's not a big deal. But a lot of characters actually died, but those were like side characters that nobody cared about. They've had them big time in the trailers, but they killed them off so easily. I thought that was kind of dumb, and I don't even understand why they had them in there in the first place. I feel like some of the characters should have survived the entire time. But that new character, Beckett, I personally thought Beckett wasn't that great of a character. I thought he was just kind of there. I didn't think he was all that great. But I have to say that like everything about him was pretty predictable. When he turned on everybody, I saw that coming a mile away. And then when Kira actually turned on Han Solo first and it looked like that was going to happen, I thought to myself, I'm like, oh, they're actually doing something different. I thought she was just going to be with Han Solo the entire time and turn on this other guy. But instead, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. So then I was like, okay, it was pretty predictable then. She just turned on the bad guy and sided with Han Solo. So I thought all of that was predictable. But then really just looking at, like, say, how Chewie and actually Han Solo met, when Han Solo is actually a part of the Empire. Beckett calls him a deserter to an officer, they all throw him in this cage with the giant beast, and of course everybody fears the beast, and it's Chewbacca. I thought that was awesome. I love that interaction between Han and Chewie right off the bat. I thought that was an awesome meeting. I thought that was really interesting how they did that, and I was very curious going into this movie, how are you going to make these two meet? I thought that was great. I'm really happy they did that. And then really just like how Han Solo and Lando met, thought that was interesting as well, and how Han Solo and Chewbacca actually got the Millennium Falcon. Great all the way through. I liked all of that stuff. Everything kind of stood out to me, and then like making the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, I like how they explained that. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are Star Wars fans that are going to be like, well, you didn't need to explain any of that. I didn't really care, but if this is going to be a Han Solo movie, now you're making a movie. You can't just ignore all that stuff. You got to be like, how does he meet Chewie? How does he meet Lando? How does he make the Kessel Run 12 parsecs? How does he get the Millennium Falcon? I like how they answered all those questions. I thought they did it in a very unique and interesting way, and I did like all of that. But now really getting into the ending of this, when Kira basically is taking off and you can see who she actually fears and who she serves and who the bad guy was basically serving the entire time, that was basically Darth Maul. When Darth Maul shows up and he's got the robotic legs. I love it. And he's definitely more like the Clone Wars Darth Maul than he was the Phantom Menace one, which I personally really liked. And I liked how he actually was laughing and he could actually talk and said more than 2 lines. So I'm really happy they did that, and I personally think that they actually are setting up a sequel. Even though the ending was kind of confusing, this is why I want to explain it, where you had that sequel with Darth Maul definitely seeded. You can see that obviously Darth Maul is there. He is going to be a villain of probably another movie if this movie does really well and Lucasfilm wants to make another one. I personally hope they do. I enjoyed it that much where I do hope they make another movie, but you also had the ending with Han Solo and Chewbacca where they're gonna go do a job on Tatooine, obviously seeding Jabba the Hutt and what happens in episode 4. That's where they kind of lead off to that. So this is where I'm getting a little confused. You can definitely write around this and say, well, they didn't go right to Tatooine. Instead, they went right to finding Kira, and they actually like did that whole Darth Maul thing. That would definitely make sense, but then at the same time, I'm like, why would you even announce the Tatooine thing? I feel like they actually didn't know what they wanted to do. I feel like they're kind of going back and forth, where one ending is going to be like, oh, we could do a sequel if this does really well, and then another ending is basically like, but if it fails, if this movie fails, we always have this to fall back on. I feel like you got to commit with one, and if you're going to put Darth Maul in there, you got to be seeding another movie with, like, say, Darth Maul. Even if you're going to do a Darth Maul solo movie, and you're just going to do everything about Darth Maul, and it's going to be within this time period after the solo movie, I would actually be cool with that. But it feels like you're just pitching another Han Solo movie, except you still are hesitant on doing it because you don't know if the movie's going to fail or it's going to succeed. It's Star Wars. It's probably going to succeed. So I feel like they should have just went to that sequel route instead of just being like, oh, now they're going to Tatooine and this is going to tie into episode 4. So that's really what I was thinking throughout this entire ending. But I do have to say, Han Solo's Star Wars story, I really enjoyed the movie. Let me know down in the comments, guys, what you guys think of this. Definitely check out my 2 other videos below me. I think you guys would really enjoy. Definitely consider subscribing right over here to Webhead so you guys get more videos on Star Wars and the movies and video games right over here. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.